Hello, welcome back to another video. I realised I hadn't done a challenge vlog for a while, so that is exactly what this is going to be. I am doing a 48-hour Patreon readathon with Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin, and I thought I would challenge myself to read as much as I can over 2 days. Notice how I'm not saying over 48 hours because I am not staying up throughout the night for this. This is just a Saturday and Sunday thing, but let me tell you what's kind of on my TBR. So the book that I'm currently reading is 1602 by Neil Gaiman. This is a graphic novel set in the 1600s with Marvel superheroes. So we have Professor Xavier and some of his X-Men, we have some of the Avengers. There's a mix going on in here. I started this very early this morning and I am really enjoying it. It's making me fangirl a bit every time one of the characters comes into it. They've given them slightly different names as well, like just slight twists on their names that we know them as. It's just interesting. I don't really know what direction it's heading in yet, and like the kind of world we're set in, I haven't really got it established as to if there's like the Avengers have formed or anything like that. I haven't read enough of it yet to know that, but I am quite enjoying this. So this is book 1 for the weekend. I'm also currently listening to Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Malors. I'm really enjoying this. I'm doing a little bit of a project on the side at the moment that I will be continuing this weekend that will be coming in a video soon, I hope. So this is what I'll be listening to when I do that project. And then I've also got 3 other books potentially for my TBR. So I have We Had to Remove This Post by Hannah Bavowitz. I've got Lemon by Kwon Yeo-sun, and I've got Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. My thought process with these are, these 2 are quite short, they're ones that have been on my TBR for a while. Taylor Jenkins Reid is a very addictive author for me and someone that I can read from quite quickly, so that was my logic with this, but this is my kind of TBR for the weekend. Let's see how I do, but I thought it'd be fun to vlog it. So the general purpose is to just read as much as I possibly can, because I think I've been so busy at the moment. Most of my reading has been done via audiobooks, so obviously that will be continuing for Cleopatra and Frankenstein, but for the rest of these I would really like to physically read them this weekend. Okay, I'm just making myself some lunch, but I am giving a quick reading update because I finished my first book of the readathon. So I finished 1602 literally just now, but I'm trying to be the most productive with my time, so I'm updating and prepping myself a wrap. I'm having a tuna cheese melt wrap thing. This is a really bad camera angle, hang on. Don't know if that's any better, but it's fine. So this was a very interesting read. I really enjoyed the integration of the Marvel characters into it. There was some of the Avengers in it and some of the X-Men and a couple of other characters that I won't go into too much detail about because I don't want to spoil it, but it was interesting from that angle, and obviously Neil Gaiman's creativity coming into that as well was really enjoyable to read about. It was set obviously in the early 1600s, so we were getting the monarchy situation that was happening at the time and everything that was going on there as well, but with the integration of this fantasy system within it all, which was really interesting. I just went to check on the footage before like continuing on with my day, and I was making tuna mayo and it made this really disgusting sound in the bit that I'm currently editing out, so I apologise for that, but I'm just gonna replace that clip with this clip and then go back to what I was saying. So I was about to say that I am really trying to like graphic novel as a format, and I just don't know if I do. I don't know if it's one for me. Especially like the darker graphic novels, I just am not gravitating towards them as much, and I don't really know if I like them or not, and I am trying to. I think what appealed to me most about this one though is obviously the Marvel integration and seeing these characters in a completely new era and setting and how they have got there, so I think that is what I enjoyed most about this one. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars, so obviously did still enjoy it, but I don't know why I'm just struggling with graphic novels as a format. Yeah, I want to try a manga soon to see if that kind of format resonates with me, but I don't know, there's always something slightly off for me with graphic novels. I did enjoy the Tea Dragons Society by Kay O'Neill. That's a really lovely series. And I really liked Fangs. I can't remember who that's by, but there's 2 different ones. The one that I mean is the werewolf vampire love story. It's very short, very cute. I'm always a bit squiffy with graphic novels, so it's always a hit or miss as to whether I'm gonna enjoy them or not. And I did like this one, but I just didn't like absolutely love it purely because it's just not a format that I find myself getting fully immersed into. In general though, I think if you are a Marvel fan and you like historical fiction, I would check this out. I'm intrigued to keep going with this because there is a link as to why they are all there in this time. and there's a conversation going on there that I would be interested to see what direction that takes. So I did enjoy a lot of aspects of this. But yeah, 3.5 out of 5 stars, so not too bad. I don't know what I'm going to go on to next. Probably one of the 2 shorter ones, just so I know that I've got another shorter book under my belt for the day. But I also think I'm going to listen to Cleopatra and Frankenstein for a little bit, because I want to do some of the projects that I've got going on that would require me to have an audiobook in. So I will let you know when I've read something else, when I've picked my next read. Okay, finished book 2 of the readathon. It is just gone past 4 in the evening. This one was another 3.5 out of 5 stars. This is We Had to Remove This Post. This is by Hannah Bervowetz and is translated by Emma Rout. This was an interesting concept. It follows a main character who works as a moderator, removing things online that aren't meeting community guidelines and are inappropriate and often aggressive, violent, sexual, and she sees a lot. And that was a very different perspective. I don't think I've read something like this before. The plot itself is about her experience working at this company and her telling somebody retrospectively about that experience and sharing what she had to go through. That was interesting to see, but this felt very open-ended, and I get that was the purpose, that it was the blur between her job and her real life and how those two things did kind of cross over after a while and how that was an issue. But I just felt like I was very unsatisfied by the end of this book. The concept was really interesting and I really liked that side of it, but the ending just felt a little bit unsatisfactory, annoyingly. So I gave this 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's very difficult to talk about books that are this short without putting any spoilers in, because there's pretty much nothing in this that wouldn't be a spoiler because it is so diddy. There's not really much build-up. We're just immediately seeing her at this job. We get a little bit of an insight into her life before the job. We see what the job's like. We see her relationships and what happens to those relationships. And we see how, as I said, how this job kind of impacts her personal life as well. So it was a very interesting observation type of novel, and I will now be reading Lemon, I think. So this is Lemon. I'm obsessed with the cover for this. This is so pretty. I've actually completely forgotten what this one's about. The top tagline for this says it isn't a murder story, it's a story for those left behind. It sounds good. I don't know how much more physical reading I'm going to do today. I might listen to more of my audiobook. I keep saying I'm going to do that, but I actually think I am going to go do that. So that is the plan. Feel productive though. Like, the point of this was I wanted to read more physical books, and I have finished 2 physical books, so I'm happy. I need to talk to you about this book. So it is Saturday evening, just come off of sprints, and I am pretty obsessed with the narrative structure of Cleopatra and Frankenstein. I think this is done in such a fantastic way to move the story along and tell you about each of the different characters, and it's just so clever. So this follows Cleo and it follows Frank. Cleo is an art graduate. She's from England. She has not got really enough money to stay in America, and she doesn't have her visa to be able to stay. Cleo meets Frank. He's quite a bit older than her. The two strike up quite an unlikely relationship, and he enables her to be able to stay in America. I don't know if I even said it was set in America. He enables her to be able to stay. It's in New York specifically, and she shows him a bit of a different side to the world. Now, these two people have lots of different groups of friends and people that they interact with, and through their narratives we see these different friends come into it, and we suddenly will go off on a different path and follow one of their friends or relatives on their story. And it's so interestingly done because you just don't know when it's going to happen, and suddenly you're following somebody different. And because I'm listening to this as an audiobook, it really does feel like you've just suddenly jumped into their point of view and are seeing things a little bit differently, but the narrative is still moving along for all the other characters and progressing too. I find it very clever and I'm really liking it. So this is a great read. I have no idea how much of it I've read because I'm listening to an Audible, no I'm not, SCRIBD, Audible, SCRIBD. SCRIBD, there's a link down below for SCRIBD, by the way. I always forget these things, but there are some affiliate links down below for SCRIBD, WATERSTONES, all that kind of thing. That you can get a free month if you use the SCRIBD one. But anyway, I'm really liking this, and I will let you know my thoughts tomorrow. I'm hoping to finish it tomorrow, hopefully. I don't know. I have read 2 physical books today as well, obviously. I haven't yet started Lemon. Here it is. But I do intend to start this later tonight. I hope that I'm going to enjoy this one because I've heard some good things about it. Both Gavin and Sabine picked this up when we were in Paris, and I already had this copy, and so yeah, it's about time that I finally read it because it's been on my TBR for a while. Okay, it's day 2 of the readathon. It is Sunday morning, just about to jump on live sprints, but I just want to drop by quickly because I have started Lemon, and I'm really enjoying this. I'm intrigued by the mystery element because we're meeting lots of different characters. Somebody has died. We're meeting all these different characters that are potential suspects, whilst also seeing this through the perspective of one specific narrative. And I suppose the question here is that a reliable narrative or not? And is what we are being told from a biased opinion? And I'm finding that really interesting to pick that apart. So far I'm really liking Lemon. I'm hoping to finish this today, and I don't know if it's ambitious to also want to finish Cleopatra and Frankenstein today as well, but I am going to be doing a lot of projects that I need an audiobook in for, and I'm hoping to walk to town at some point as well, so I think I should be able to do it, and then maybe start my Taylor Jenkins Reid book. That's the goal for the day. Okay, I feel like this vlog's been really disjointed random talking updates and has been a lot more talking than it has b-roll, but I hope you've enjoyed it because I have enjoyed being able to just sit and chill and read this weekend. I've had a busier day today in terms of just little bits that I've been doing around the flat, so I didn't quite read as much as I hoped, but I did finish Lemon. I didn't quite finish Cleopatra and Frankenstein, however I do only have an hour and a half left. But I thought I'd give you my final thoughts on Lemon. I think this one's going to be another 3.5 out of 5 stars. I haven't yet run it through Quarterpile. I felt kind of average and indifferent to this the more I got into it. I quite enjoyed the start and I liked the unpredictability of it, but I felt as we got further in, more characters were introduced as narrators and it wasn't often clear who you were following, and I know that was the author's purpose, to make us feel disjointed and lost as readers, but at times it felt too confusing to be able to unpick what was actually happening. I've looked at Goodreads for this and a lot of people either absolutely loved it or felt quite meh about it, and I definitely think I sit in the meh category. This is also a novel that talks about class and gender within Korean society, and I think that part of it was really interestingly integrated in to the whodunit story. There was a lot of talk of beauty standards. I think was really important conversations that were being initiated through that. So I liked those sides of it and I did enjoy the whodunit element. I just felt like it was very disjointed because of the way that the changing of perspective went. Because it was so unreliable, it was almost to a point of being unclear because of how unreliable it was. So I finished it, but I'm not really 100% clear on the ins and outs of this book, and it wasn't a long book. So yes, I liked it, but I just didn't love it. So again, another 3.5 stars. I don't know what it is with this weekend, but although I haven't finished Cleopatra and Frankenstein, I think this one is going to be maybe around a 4.5 stars. I really like this. It could edge into 5-star territory. As I've already said, the fact that this has multiple different characters that we follow in it as a branch off of the 2 main characters, I think it's making it really interesting and keeping the pacing going. Even though it is very much a character-based story rather than a plot-based story, it still feels like it's moving quite quickly. I'm really enjoying getting to see all the different characters. We have quite a few different characters from different backgrounds and different situations. There's different conversations happening here, and I think that that is fantastic within this plot. This talks a lot about mental health as well. It talks very openly and honestly about some of those experiences. It talks about each of the characters' own passions. Everybody has their own thing that they feel passionate and excited about in this, and I love that side of it too. But at the same time, it's very gritty, which is what I was hoping it would be. So this is giving me everything I wanted it to give me. If you feel you need to with this, do check out the trigger warnings before you go into this, because it does deal with some heavier topics at times. But generally, I feel like this is going to be around a 4.5 out of 5. I wanted to finish this before the vlog ended, but I think I probably will finish it tonight, but I just want to be able to take my makeup off, have a shower, get ready for bed, and just sit and listen to the rest of it whilst I do a bit of drawing or something. So I just wanted to be able to close off the vlog now and then probably finish this later. So I will confirm my rating along the bottom here. I'll let you know what I did give it in the end, but I'm predicting just around the 5-star, 4 to 5-star area at the moment, unless it really throws me a curveball, but I don't think it's going to. So I would recommend this. I can see why everyone's talking about it. It's a really great read. Okay, it's next day, Beth. I was just going to leave this vlog as it was, but I just wanted to quickly come in because I've just been reviewing Cleopatra and Frankenstein, which, as I've pointed out in the vlog, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Now, I thought this was a really well-regarded book, and I thought people really liked it. Most of the reviews I was coming across on Goodreads were really negative, and I didn't realise this going into it. So it was interesting reading some of those reviews and seeing how their thought process compared to mine. And I think, here's the thing, Cleo and Frank are not necessarily all that likeable by the end of this book. To start with, they're intriguing and they're interesting, and I didn't feel like anything negative towards them to start with. As the book goes on, you see the decisions they're making and the flaws in them are coming to the surface, and it does contribute to making them more unlikable. And I think you do have the balance of side characters who are likeable that help weigh that, because I often don't like a book when it's just got unlikable characters, but I need to like just one character. And I think that because we had characters such as Eleanor in this that were likeable, that helped, and that was why it was something that I didn't really overly think about too much. But now, reading other people's reviews about how shallow and dislikable they found these two characters, I think it's interesting, because for me that was what made this book feel more interesting and analytical and an observation novel. It felt like we were seeing the effects of these two people's romance and the isolation and the passion of that romance, and how something like that can make you feel isolated in different ways. And we were seeing that through their stories and also through other people's stories coming in as well. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to give in my final thoughts now I finished it. I did enjoy it. I can definitely see why people wouldn't, but I think the reasons that people didn't like about it was why I did like it, because I think what the author was doing was very much making an observation and a critique of those experiences. So it's interesting. I always find it really interesting to look through the Goodreads reviews and see what other people have thought of a book, especially this one, which I just thought everyone had really enjoyed it because I've seen so many good things on social media, but I guess that hasn't been as far stretched as I thought. So I liked it, and I will let myself, my past self, get back on the video now. I also got 2 books in the post today. So I got some manga. I have never read manga before, and on Gavin's recommendation I picked up Blood on the Tracks. This is by Shuzo Oshimi, and I also picked up Spy X Family by Tatsuya Endo. Both of these are for an upcoming video, as well as another manga that I'm very excited for the video for. As I've said, I've never read manga before, so that might give you an indication as to the vlog, but that'll be coming very soon. I'm really excited about this. I hope we've got a fairly decent mix of different types of manga here as well, but just to give you a little sneak peek, reason to subscribe, reason to hit the little bell icon. Also, I don't know why in this video, my little baby hair has really been doing some things in this whole video. I don't know why it's suddenly there. Does anyone get this? It's like it's giving me my own little fringe. Why is it suddenly there? Anyway, I am going to wrap this up here so I can go chill for the rest of the evening. I don't know what kind of a vlog this has turned out being, but I hope that you've enjoyed it. I really like having a mix of vlogs where I do some that are very heavily mainly B-roll, and then a lot that are just me chatting through books. I really enjoy doing these kind of ones, so I hope that you do as well. If you do, please do give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you've been reading recently, what you're reading at the moment, just generally books. Tell me about books in the comments. Subscribe to see more of my face on your feed, including my manga vlog, which I'm very excited about. You can also find link down below my Patreon, where we are about to celebrate the 2-year Patreon anniversary. In fact, is it the day this video goes live that it's the 2-year Patreon anniversary? Possibly. So that's exciting. 2 years on Patreon is wild. Thank you so much to anyone who supported me there. It is all linked down below, as well as my online shop. Thank you so much for watching. Keep smiling and stay positive.